Hello there and welcome to Cardboard Adventures. My name is Sam Wild and I am the designer behind cardboardadventures.co.uk. Now, today I'm going to show you how to make your very own cardboard drum. Now, hopefully you've already been to the website and you've downloaded the instructions and the patterns. Now, I have got all the bits I need here. I've got my cardboard. I've already cut all my pieces out, just a regular old cardboard box. I've got my glue gun, which is heated up and ready to use. I've got my craft tape. I have got my knife. I use a retractable blade because I find it a little bit safer. I've got my tiny cutting mat, and I have also got a spiky object and some twine. There we go. So let's crack on, okay? So I've already cut all my pieces out, as I say. So this is my headpiece, and the first step is to attach these supports to it. Now, you do not need a lot of glue for these things. You'll find it dries a lot quicker if you use less. And all we're doing is we're going to spread these out around at equal distance around the circle. You don't have to be too precise. It doesn't have to be too neat. We're not going to see them. It's just to help hold the shell in place when we get to that point. Now, I'm going to be placing them around. If you decide you want to, what you can do is just put a little support there to hold it in place. Try and keep them as close to straight up as you can. Let me put another bit of glue here as well, actually. I have two hands, I might as well use them both, eh? So I'm just going to pop there. We'll just give that a second to dry. Okie dokie, I'm just going to pop that to the side. That one feels a little bit unsure, so I'm just going to give that. Now, I have also cut out this. So this is my shell piece. Now, the important thing to remember with your shell piece and with all of the pattern pieces in this is to remember the grain. Now, the grain on this, you can see these little lines going down this way, mean that it's easy to fold one way, hard to fold the other. You want to make sure your grain is running down on this. You can see if you look down the ends, one end is all bumpy, the other end is just a load of lines. Okay, so we want that. So you want to make sure that that's got a nice curve to it. Oh, you might decide to do that over the edge of the table. Any old place. Just make sure that's really bendy and floppy. Okay, like a wave. There you go. Now, cardboard is a wonderful thing, but it also is very varied in its shapes and forms. Okay, so if you're working particularly thick cardboard, you might find you want to make this piece a little bit longer. If it's thinner, then you might want to trim it down when we get to the end. Okay, I think that's nice and bendy enough. Let's get our shape back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to fold this around. I'm going to get myself a little bit of craft tape here. It's just going to go right so, just to hold that in place, okay? And then round a bit further and a bit more tape. There we go. Around a bit more, hold it in tape, and you get the general idea, don't you? Now we're going to tidy this up in a second. There we are. Now, the tape is really your secret sauce on these things. Make sure, try out loads of different types of tape, try out lots of different approaches, a nice masking tape. Lots of different cardboard crafters use lots of different tapes. I'm a big fan of this craft tape. This is just like a brown paper, solvent-based craft tape. You can get it in most craft shops. There we go, so you can see the general shape. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my glue gun and I'm just going to run down the length of the supports just to hold that in place. That's what they're there for, just to firm up that bit. Again, you don't need a huge amount of glue. It doesn't have to be neat. Let me just push that one down a little bit. No one's going to be looking inside of your drum, and if they are looking inside of your drum, you should ask some serious questions about your life. Right, so there we go. The next step, this is one of my favourite little bits, is we're going to run the tape all around the top there. This is just going to tighten up, tidy up, secure up that edge. So once you've got it around the top, what I'm then going to do is I'm going to get my craft knife. I'm going to just go around the edge and I'm just going to cut these little strips. And then, once I've done that, I'm just going to lay those flat across and hold it in place, okay? Now let's see how fast I can do this, okay? You ready? Go! And there you have it. So it's all taped down now in place, and I then just went around with my craft knife just to smooth it out, get rid of all those bumps, make sure it's really secure. Now, if you want this to be a really long-term toy, what you could then do is just get yourself a little bit of PVA and paint that on around the edge, and that'll make it really strong and secure. Right, next step is I'm going to get myself my hoops. Okay, so I've got 2 of these, and they are exactly the same as they're long, thin pieces with the grain running this way, making them easy to bend. It is all about the grain when you're working with cardboard. Just a little bit of glue, hot glue there, and it's just going to go the top and the bottom edges, okay? Just give that a second to hold. And we're going to run this all the way around, okay? As I say, cardboard's a wonderful thing, comes in lots of shapes and sizes. It may be that I say that, you say this, look, just need to trim that down just to make sure it fits snug. Snug as a bug in that proverbial rug. There we go. So we've done the top, we do exactly the same thing with the bottom. Now, a little bit of hot glue. Let that set. As I say, you do not need a lot of hot glue for these things. Just a little dot here and there will hold it in place, easy peasy. All around the edge. And because this one is the same size as the last one, we will then need to trim it down as well. There we go. Lose a centimetre off that, hold it in place. Little pesky hot glue cobweb. There we go. And there we are, they are starting to take shape, isn't it? Now the next bit is our hoop detail. Now this bit is the really fiddly job, okay? So what I've done is I've done exactly the same thing as I did with a hoop. I've cut it down and then I've made sure the grain is running that way. Then I took a long time and I used just a knitting needle to go around and just peel that top layer off. So you can see the corrugation underneath here. Sometimes it comes off in one great bit. Other times you have to spend a little bit longer on it. If you're not enjoying it, it's a bit of detail. Your drum's going to work the same without it. Do a little wiggle on it, stick it down, okay? It's your thing, make it yourself, make it your own. And then we do exactly the same as we did before. So hot glue on this, and then it's going to go just underneath that hoop. So it's going to go all the way around just underneath the hoop, just to give us a little bit of love and detail to impress everybody with our fantastic cardboard drum. There we go. Now this one is going to be the same as the upper hoop. And it's probably going to need a little bit of trimming down when we get to the end. Here we are. Single snip. Lots of hot glue cobwebs today. There we go. And that's the bottom, and exactly the same with the top. If you're going to do this motion, do be careful. you can get paper cuts, cardboard cuts, which are infinitely cooler. There we go, all the way around the edge. Now, after we've got this piece on, depending on how you want to decorate your drum, that might be a good point to do it. Because once we get the string on, which is the next step, it becomes infinitely more difficult to get in there. So if you want to do a paint job on there, if you want to get on there with your black pen and do the edges like I like to, the next point will be the point to do it. So there we have it. Our drum is starting to take place. We've got our shell on, we've got our hoop detail, which we painstakingly taken that top layer off. Now this, as I say, would be a good chance for you to decorate it. You can get access to it if you want to do a beautiful ode to Sam Wilde scene on your drum. Now would be the time to paint it on. If you're happy, then we get our sharp object and we're just going to go around and we're going to create zigzags in the hoop, top and bottom. You do need to push to get through there. Then I'm going to get my thread. I've decided to go with a lovely yellow yarn here to do our zigzagging on. And I've just got myself a little yarn needle. You can manage with just poking it through the hole, but it does take a little bit of time and it will not be fun viewing for you. Now, once we've got it on, it's just a question of going in and out. So I'm going to go in with one bit. You do need quite a lot of yarn. I'll probably have to trim this off at the end, but here we go. Ooh, there we go. We go up and we go down, all the way through, in and out. Now, you can use whatever colour you like. The important thing is try not to get yourself all tangled up, because you do need a lot of it. Right, let's take a deep breath and let's see how fast I can go on this, okay? Are we ready to race? You against me. Okay, go. Do pay attention for your ins and your outs, okay? You've got to go in and out, in and out. There we go, so I've already made one circuit round. Now I'm going to go round again, but using the same holes this time, okay? So that will give us our distinctive sort of zigzag pattern, you'll see. There we go, so back out of that hole. I'm just going to pull that bit off and just tie that bit off of there. And then we go up. And out. And as you can see, we're getting that lovely zigzag. And there we have it. There we go, and now just tie that off on the inside. Now again, if you really want this to be a toy that lasts, what you could do is just go around those inside bits with your hot glue gun, just dabbing where it comes out or goes in, just to really secure it in place. Remove my excess, and there we have it. Our very own wonderful cardboard drum. And do, of course, feel free to bang on about it. So hopefully you've had a lot of fun making this with me. Do check out cardboardadventures.co.uk for lots more cardboard crafting tips. There's lots of free content on there. I've been Sam Wilde and you have been a pleasure. Thank you very much.